We're back on the Isla Bonita, La Palma, the venue for Transvulcania 2018, the 10th time this event has been held, and once again stunning conditions greeting all the athletes who've made their way into the reception area to register their names. This is one event where athletes do not mind arriving early and leaving late. The stars are here as always, the likes of Ida Nielsen, who's looking to win this event for the third time in succession. Stian Angerman-Vick is here, he'll be running in the vertical K where he'll be one of the favourites, and Ryan Sandes from South Africa, one of the best known runners there, the only man to have won the Grand Slam of desert races.
Yeah, it's great to be on La Palma and at Transvulcania, just with so many friends and so many competitors, and just like everyone being here, and it's like a festival of trail running with everyone getting together and kind of having the same like-minded passion, and I think that's what makes the race so special, and it's something that I really look forward to when I come to Transvulcania.
I think Ryan has nailed it there. It's the fact that the islanders are all into this event that makes it such a special occasion for the athletes. Cody Reed, one of the favourites for the Ultra, but it's the vertical K that, as usual, is going to be the event that gets this festival underway.
Para mí es muy exótico.
Pascal Egli, certainly a man to watch out for. Says for me it's really exotic. It's great to see the nature and how beautiful this place is, the volcanic rocks, the forests, the banana trees, something that not all the athletes see every day.
Siempre es un placer venir aquí, el clima es mucho mejor en esta época que no en otros sitios.
It's always a pleasure to come here, she says. The weather's so good at this time of year, and it's good to have this event to start the season off.
I feel excited, nice to be back in this wonderful island. I ran it last year.
And Angerman-Vick, he ran it and he won it last year in good style. Got the course record on this climb, 47.22. He'll be looking to defend that, maybe even better that time. He is an astonishing runner, but he's got some stiff competition here this year. The women's field is pretty stacked as well, and Yoshizumi of Japan looking to defend her title. This is Lara again saying on this vertical K there's virtually no section that you have to walk. There's a lot of running, over 7.5 kilometers to be covered in the climb, and she says as you climb straight off the beach the views are stunning. Well, it could be said that this is running's equivalent of the Alpe d'Huez climb on the Tour de France. It is an unbelievable sight, perhaps not the steepest, but certainly the most spectacular.
I think it's maybe between 6 and 7k with around 1200 meters of climb, but we're running one by one, so we don't know how the others are doing, so we need to like push everything.
A time trial event, as Stian says. It starts at Tazacorte on the beach, and some say it goes halfway to heaven via hell. It is an unbelievable venue, but the support is second to none on the world circuit, and they'll be enjoying this occasion. We know all about Vic of Norway, but Pascal Egli of Switzerland is a man who's on very good form. He says there's Stian, there's Aritz, there's Rui, and of course Andre from the Czech Republic. He knows this is going to be a fascinating battle between them. They're pretty evenly matched, but going off 30 seconds apart, it's going to be difficult to know exactly where they lie. But there's no doubt that Pascal Egli is the lightest runner of all. He's absolutely beautifully fluid on the feet. Away goes Stian Angerman-Vick.
Pues hombre, yo creo que va a estar complicado, porque hay justamente especialistas en verticales, la japonesa que
she thinks it's going to be difficult to win this one because there are so many vertical kilometer specialists in the event. Christelle Douala, she points out, she's the one who seems to be on the best form. Michelle Myers, also someone to watch out for in the Salomon team, and she knows that she's going to have to work very hard just to get on the podium. Well, there is the top Japanese vertical K runner. She's the Asian champion, and Yazumi is certainly worth watching out for today. Very light figure indeed, but has she got the stamina for this 1,200 metre climb? The vertical K normally just 1,000 metres up, but this is 1,200 metres plus the 7.5 kilometres to be won, so we won't be seeing anything like the world record around the 30-minute mark, more like 45 to 47 for the men, just around the hour mark for the top women.
Hay mucha gente durante el recorrido, sobre todo la primera parte.
Laura Orge saying the support on the course is phenomenal. Late afternoon start, it's perfect, and the first part of the course in particular has many hundreds of spectators. Pascal Egli, he knows that the support is going to be crucial for the effort that he can put in. Many start fast and they get slower. One or two little sections on the course where you can stretch the legs out a little.
You always need to push from the start to the finish line and trying to keep the legs going as quickly as possible, and that could be hard.
But there are not many people who can do it better than Stian Angerman-Vik. One or two nice sections where you can stretch out the legs very tight at the intermediate between the top 5 men runners.
I think the spectators were amazing. They were really all along and really motivating. And it was really beautiful course, more technical than I expected. And yeah, I tried to go regular rhythm. I didn't get really tired until the middle, so I felt really good, yeah.
Egli producing a time of 47.55, just 30 seconds outside Vik's record. Stian Angerman-Vik pushed down into second place, and Rudi Ueda from Japan, 48.08 in third place. Only 13 seconds separating the top 3. Orge having to settle for second in the women's event behind Christelle de Waal, who had a time of 56.52.
Yeah, I didn't expect to beat Stian, because for me it's still the reference, the best. But he encouraged me during the warm-up. He said, you can be really fast, and I think it helped me. I thought it was a stacked field, but sometimes you have a good day, right?
Ueda and Kocheva taking third place. We had Vik and Orge in second, and then Egli and de Waal, the 2 winners on the day. de Waal admitting that she was very nervous before the start. She didn't think she'd done quite enough to win this one, but she had a decent rhythm and very, very happy with her performance, and so she should be. With the vertical K completed, the minds of the fans and the runners, of course, turning to the blue ribbon event, the Ultramarathon, 74.3 kilometres, 4,300 metres of climbing. The reputation of this event has attracted the best from the USA.
This is one of the hardest races in the world because of the course and competition. It's very competitive.
The island is beautiful, it's frightening, it's technical, and you can't beat the mountain. You can only run within yourself and focus on your own energy, and so I'm going to do the best I can for myself and for my friends and people who support me.
It's been awesome just to connect with more elites from around the whole world. Just awesome opportunity to just be a part of it. It'll be a competitive day, but I'm excited about that.
Here's Italy's Marco De Gasperi, who's a very good sky runner, but he's not used to this sort of distance, he says. He's excited by his first ultra. It's twice as long as he's used to running, but he's very, very motivated to finish here today. So a 6 o'clock start in the morning, and the headlights are on full power to guide them up the first of the climbs. First to Los Canarios, the first 16 kilometres is all uphill. They'll gain something like 1,800 metres in that time. From the lighthouse at Fuencaliente, they make their way up the mountain at various paces, and once again, the Americans setting the pace early on. Cody Reed up with the leading group.
I know that there's a lot of very good runners here, but I haven't really looked at the start list to see who's actually here. I don't want to think about that, I just want to run my own race.
Dakota Jones, the only American to have won this event so far. On the women's side, Ida Nilsson of Sweden has won the last 2 episodes.
The first part of the Los Canarios, I think, is really nice in that old pine forest. It's really early, everyone is already out cheering, and the nicest with this course, you have so much support all along.
It starts in the south of the island and works its way up to the northwest. It's a very natural course indeed, and certainly one of the most spectacular on the tour. The flashlights needed as they continue that first climb. A total of 74 kilometers to be raced. Chilly conditions earlier on, but as they get higher, it will get hotter and the going will get considerably tougher. Welcome back to the 10th edition of Transvulcania, the Ultramarathon underway. First 15 kilometres just about completed as they approach the summit of Las Deseadas. And once again, it's the Americans who've been setting the pace. Cody Reed out front, Cole Watson's up there, Morgan Elliott also starting hard.
You can look around side to side and you're like, there's going to be 30 or 40 guys that can win this race. So it's super exciting, and I'm just jazzed to be able to put my skills and just all my training into one moment, just to see how it competes.
And the second group already 5 minutes behind. Dmitry Mityev is there from Russia, his wife Ekaterina also racing. Number 3 is Xavier Thévenard. We've got Thibaut Garivier, who's got his eye on the main prize, and Ida Nilsson leading the women's. A couple of minutes advantage for Ida Nilsson, but she's not as fit as she's been in previous years. Brittany Pedersen, Mai Flynn, Kelly Wolf might have a chance.
I'm really excited for the women's field. I saw the women lined up and I said, I want to race those girls, so I'm happy to be a part of it.
And this is her opportunity. Much windier conditions once they reach the ridge line, and when it's in their face, no one really wanting to lead the groups. Pacing so much a part of this ultra marathon. There are plenty of athletes whose one goal is to finish. Cody Reed's is to win. But the chase group containing Thévenard and Aurel is closing down on the leaders. Thévenard saying he feels much better than he did last year. He didn't compete in Madeira this year, which I think has saved some energy for the big event in La Palma. Well, we'll see how Thévenard gets on. Now less than 3 minutes behind the leaders. Nilsson still leading in the women's event.
Ida is a strong runner. Been hanging out with Kelly Wolf. She's been awesome. Her and Anna May. So I'm excited to get out there and just hopefully be as close to Ida as I can and just be competitive, you know, and run my race and just feeling like I put it all out there by the end of the day.
Only a few minutes separating the top women in the early stages. Down to El Pilar from Las Deseadas, and this is the first opportunity the athletes get to stretch those legs out. It's not too technical a section. The worst is still to come on this course, and Per Aurel well aware of the importance of pacing. He says he let the Americans go early on. He thought they were a little crazy with the pace they set. He went with the rhythm of Thévenard and Sergio Garcia, and a very comfortable but good pace they were setting. He said when he got over the top of Las Deseadas and started to descend to El Pilar, he knew that he was gaining on the leaders, and he knew even at that stage that the Americans had gone too hard too soon. Not the case with Nilsson.
It's really nice to be here again, like for the third time, and maybe not so well prepared like the other years, but it's starting to feel good with running again, and it will be really nice.
What a career Nilsson's had. Started as a track runner, got injured in America, took 5 years off from training, came back to trail running in 2014 and has had success after success. Well, so is Angerman Vick, and he is the man that nailed the victory in the half marathon event ahead of Rudy Ueda. Aritz Aguirre coming in third place.
Pero luego sí que le da la vuelta al cuerpo.
He says he gave his all from the start and tried to stay with the two leaders, but just couldn't do it. But he has enjoyed the run. On the last climb, he says, they started to get away from him, but he's happy with third place. The marathon start, having seen the ultra runners go through, the marathon start containing Denilson, Silva, Pereira. We've got Wilson, Gabriel Cardoso in there as well, both expected to do great things. And this is probably the only marathon in the world that finishes some 400 meters lower than where it started, but they still have to do their fair share of climbing. And that final descent is absolutely brutal down to Tazacorte. Winning time usually around the 4-hour mark. The opening stretch, relatively simple, using the fire trails, and then they switch to the rough country after getting to Roque de los Muchachos, the high point of the course. And for many, they save the celebrations because they know that the final downhill is every bit as hard as the 4,500 meters of ascent they've done already. This is Per Orell saying there was a steep climb up to the peak of Las Nieves, and he set a good pace, starting to feel good, hunting the Americans. And once he got ahead of the USA runners, he started to feel good, run well, and was slightly surprised to have company when he went through Roque de los Muchachos, but there were three of them together, very unusual at this stage of the race. Per Orell was there, Dmitry Mityev of Russia and Thibaut Garivier of France, all starting the descent, the last 24 kilometers together. Ida Nielsen still leading the women's event, but the competition is much closer than it was last year. Kelly Wolf going well.
I'm super excited to be here. The weather's beautiful. I'm just emerging from Colorado winter. A couple days before I left, we got about 20 inches of snow. And so the island is so beautiful. I'm very happy to be here.
And from Roque de los Muchachos, it is pretty much all downhill for the leaders, and it's very fast as well. The race so often won and lost on this section. Per Orell lost it in the last couple of Ks last year. El Time marks the halfway point of the descent, and still Orell has the lead, and he's pulling clear of Matiev at the moment. And Garivier having a great battle with the Russian for that second place.
Transvulcania es una de las carreras más importantes del mundo. Y todos quieren ganar, por lo que hemos visto en los
This is Marco de Gasperi saying Transvulcania, obviously one of the most important races in the world, and from what he's seen in the past, he knows that the key is the final 20 kilometers, the technical descent down to Tazacorte, and then of course you've got to save something in the legs for the last 5k, which is back uphill, another climb of 300 meters. The footing is brutal. 7.2 kilometers to Tazacorte, and it reverses the vertical K. One step too far and it could be a very, very quick descent down to the ocean. Per Orell once again first into Tazacorte. Orell saying he knew he wasn't the favourite, but he knew he'd done everything right in his preparation. He was strong, he'd done all the training, he was absolutely certain that you had to get to Tazacorte with a little in reserve. Matiev certainly seems to have done that. Garivier suffering and struggling with the final climb still to come. Nielsen still leading.
It's really nice, like you have the support in Tazacorte, but then even like on the last climb up to Los Llanos, it's always people there like cheering, offering water, and like be supportive, and it's really great all along the course.
Mollist 5 minutes behind, Kelly Wolf just a little further back. And the marathon runners coming into the finish as the ultras make their way up the final climb. It's Denilson Silva who takes the win, 4:05.33. Wilson Gabriel Cabral, 4:06.07. And Juan Esteban Romano of Argentina, 4:06.23, third place, just 50 seconds off the winning time. Danielson saying really happy to win this one. He found a huge amount of energy from the spirit the spectators were giving him, and he's delighted to have him and his running partner first and second. In the women's event, Maria Zorosa taking the win, 4:51. This is Montse Martinez, who finished in second place, saying there's no doubt that the people of this island take care of you. She feels more at home than she does at home. You have to be prepared to cope with the heat and the cold on this race. You see just about every condition possible. But she loved the mountains and particularly enjoyed running through the forests. Final stretch through the gorge. Again, best taken at walking pace, but if you want to win, you have to run this. Competition in both the men and the women's. Nielsen looking in a strong position to win the women's event. Per Orell, who has never won a major event in 16 years, I think it is, of training he's been putting in.
The finish line and probably the last few kilometers of the race are really incredible. The ambience and all the people cheering and supporting makes Transvulcania such a special race. And yeah, I think without the people, the race wouldn't be as memorable and special.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that. The people make the atmosphere makes the race, and Per Orell makes his first victory. Sensational running from him. He's a long way off the record time, but that doesn't matter. He has himself a win. He says he hasn't ever seen such a spectacular, impressive arrival. From the beginning of the final straight to the end, people cheering you on. He says it's an absolute dream. Absolutely brilliant by the 34-year-old, and brilliant also from Ida Nielsen, who makes it a hat-trick. 3 in a row here in Transvulcania. Can you believe she comes from the southern part, the flat part of Sweden? She's the best hill runner in the world. This time, 5 minutes clear of Monica Mollist. And coming back well after a slow start, Kelly Wolf of USA gets the last spot on the podium.
Quite extreme weather, like it started with like a lot of wind. It was kind of perfect for a while on the ridge, but then in the end here it got really hot actually. So we had all kinds of weather today.
That brings to a close one of the best festivals of running in the world.